go for time?
Yeah, a little bit longer than quickly.
It's the same for me as well.
Yeah, describe Michael and what you've...
That's your first tour?
Yeah.
First tour was to Australia?
First international tour to Australia,
Yeah,
and
okay.
I was the youngest in that particular squad. All my teammates, they've warned me that, this is Australia, nothing's going to be easy. I still remember my first outing in Brisbane. We played the first ODI there, and I could see Ponting at slip, Michael Clarke at point, Andrew Simons at covers. He was like that. All those guys standing right in front of you, and then, what are you going to do? You got to find your way to, do your best. But also, the reason I love playing cricket here is because the appreciation that you get when you perform here is different. That's probably the reason I love coming here and playing cricket in Australia and competing with Australians. I wanted to understand, or know rather, your first experience overseas when you travel. What
West
country?
Indies, yeah.
West Indies.
2003. Steve Waugh's last series.
Oh yeah. Do
Steve Waugh was
you have
captain.
any memories, experience?
As you know, who have been to the West Indies, it's a beautiful part of the world. Crystal clear blue water, white sand, people partying in the grandstand. West Indies just love their cricket and love a good time. But what stands out for me most about the Caribbean is we used to call it West Indies time. So as the aeroplane was flying into the Caribbean, everyone in the team would say, rightio boys, switch on to West Indies time. And what that meant was, because they're so relaxed and so laid back, you could order room service at breakfast and not receive it until lunch. And then when they turn up to your door, you're like, man, I ordered room service 3 hours ago. They're like, sorry, man.
Nobody's here, man.
That really sums up the people in the Caribbean. That's probably why I love touring there so much, because it was, you left a busy, hectic life in Sydney and you went there and it was like that breath of fresh air where you could just it nearly felt like you're on a holiday. You're on a holiday playing cricket. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually one of the best places to go and play cricket. When you go back to the hotel, you see those blue waters just get you so relaxed, It's
a nice feeling.
Some of the places like in West Indies, Barbados, it's one of my favorite too.
How'd it go for time?
Yeah, a little bit longer than quickly.
It's the same for me as well.
Yeah, describe Michael and what you've...
Tell me what you love so much about travelling around the world playing cricket for India.
Traveling in general, because in India we don't get out much, so the reason I love traveling more is because I can just be myself.
Flying into India for the first time, what an eye-opener. From someone that grew up in an environment where it was very outside. Every day you get home from school, you go to the park, kick the football, ride your bike. And then when I got to India, couldn't really go outside. I couldn't believe you could see some of the best hotels in the world, unbelievable, like restaurants, bars, accommodation worth millions and millions of dollars. But then you open your blinds and look out the window and you see so many people living on the street. That definitely changed my life. It makes you not take things for granted. It makes you realise how lucky you are. And that's what I think is been such an advantage about travelling around the world as well. Like, for a lot of people, they mightn't understand how crazy India is, and it's so hard to describe India without going there. But it is. It's like if you think of the biggest celebrity in the world, if you think of Kim Kardashian in America, it's like every single Indian cricketer is under that scrutiny in India. So it must feel, you mentioned a breath of fresh air, it must feel like that when you come to a country like Australia and you can walk to the cafe, walk to the restaurant, walk along the beach.
I can just be myself. Just go out, do what I want to do, which is going out and exploring, trying different cuisine, meeting different people, seeing their culture. Different countries have different cultures. So like you said, Caribbean, different culture. When you come to Australia, different. When you go to England, slightly different. South Africa has its own charm, so all those countries, over the years I've learned different ideas, different thought process, how they think about life, how they lead their life. Good that sport has given us so much to understand from the game itself, and then obviously to know what each country has to offer.
Cultures are so different.
Very lucky to be in this position, to be traveling and doing so many things and understanding so many cultures. When my teammates got to know that I'm going to be a father, they were laughing at me. They're like, "You're going to be a father?" So I was like, "Yeah. What's the problem?"
How'd it go for time? Your beautiful wife's pregnant now as well. So how's that going to feel, being a father for the first time?
Yeah, of course. I can't wait to be a father. It's going to be, again, a game-changing, life-changing moment in both our lives.
When my little girl was born was the greatest day of my life.
Yeah.
I think there's no doubt if people ask my wife, what am I like now versus what I was like before having my daughter,
Yeah.
I think she would definitely say I'm a lot softer.
Yeah.
I think about when I was captaining Australia, and I couldn't really understand and comprehend the emotional side to someone. So if somebody didn't sleep for whatever reason, their child was crying, and they would come to training and they couldn't train, I couldn't handle it. I was like, it's work time, mate. We're training. We all train together. We go train. Now, after having my own little girl, I'm so much softer with that. Like, I understand now why somebody would feel, if your son or daughter's having a tough day, it affects you personally.
When my teammates got to know that I'm going to be a father, they're like, "Oh, no, we can't believe that you're going to be a father because
Really?
of my mannerism and what I've done, my previous years." And they think I'm irresponsible, things like that. In a funny way, obviously. Yeah. And, I'm going to make sure that everything changes.
No, it's very exciting, mate. Congratulations. Yeah. I think the other thing about playing sport at the highest level, a part of you has to be very selfish to get the best out of you. The next day's performance is the most important thing in the world.
Yep.
And I always felt that as a player. And then that day when I had my little girl, it was like, I couldn't comprehend it, but everything changed when now, at best, I'm second.
We know it's hard for all of us being a sportsman because we always have to be away from them. They can't always travel everywhere. Whatever time that you get to spend with them is like gold.
If I had to choose an all-time Indian Test 11, I could only go on the players that I've seen. I'd have to start with Sunil Gavaskar. I think he's India's all-time best opening batsman. He would be number one, and partnering him would be Virender Sehwag, one of my favourite batsmen of all time, extremely aggressive. I think they're a good combination. Rahul Dravid, the war would be at number 3, so hard to get out. Number 4, the great Sachin Tendulkar, speaks for himself, and that's probably his preferred batting position. Number 5, Virat Kohli, who I think is an absolute superstar, current Indian captain. Number 6, I'm going to go with Rohit Sharma. I think Rohit is as talented a player as I've seen through my career, and I like the fact that he bats and bowls. MS Dhoni, number 7. Again, brilliant keeper batsman. Number 8, Kapil Dev, I'm going to go for. Brilliant all-rounder for India, an amazing record. Number 9 and number 10, I'm going the 2 spinners. I'm going Anil Kumble and Harbhajan Singh. Probably the best combination I faced through my career, both outstanding bowlers. And number 11, I'm going with Zahir Khan. Brilliant with the brand new ball and excellent with the reverse swinging ball as well.
If I had to put together the best Australian 11 of what I have seen, I would start with Matthew Hayden, only because of his sheer dominance at the top, followed by David Warner, very similar to Matthew Hayden, what Matthew Hayden did. Number 3 would be Ricky Ponting. He would be my captain, sheer leadership quality and again the dominance at number 3, taking on the bowler right from ball 1. And number 4 would be Michael Clarke. The way he has played his cricket, I've always admired him. So him at 4. 5 would be Michael Hussey, scoring so many runs, hundreds, and taking the team out from the difficult situations. 6 would be an interesting one. I'll go for an all-rounder. That would be Shane Watson, because I would want someone to bowl and someone who can bat and dominate at number 6. So Shane Watson. And number 7 will be Adam Gilchrist. I think there's no debate over who will be the best keeper. My 3 quicks would be Glenn McGrath, Brett Lee and Mitchell Johnson. 1 spinner, Shane Warne, obviously. So I'm sure there are great Australian legends like Don Bradman, but the guys who I named now, I've seen them play and I've seen how they've dominated world cricket. There are a few interesting names out there like Chris Gayle. Whenever he's come to IPL, he's set the stage on fire every time he has entered the field. And another interesting one, not interesting one, I would say rather top of the list, that is AB de Villiers. But I wouldn't choose either of them because they've not won the IPL. I would choose a guy who has won the IPL, and that is Lasith Malinga, who has played in my team only because the 3 titles that Mumbai Indians has won. I'm not saying it's only because of him, but he was part of that team and he played a crucial role making sure that we win that title. So I think to me, he's been a greatest Mumbai Indians match winner. So I think I would definitely choose Lasith Malinga.